How's it going, guys? I'm here at the LG booth, and no surprise, it is again one of the most impressive booths. Probably among the top three. You got Samsung, LG, and Sony, usually with the best ones. And probably the biggest thing you notice when you first walk in that I can show you here is a giant tunnel of curved TVs, and it's showing like a canyon, some waves, really awesome stuff. So besides that, I thought we could just go through the whole booth, show you what I think is probably the coolest stuff. We won't have a time to go through everything probably, but maybe not everything's worth seeing. We're gonna go through the best stuff, the good stuff, and maybe some stuff that's kind of dumb, but hopefully still cool. So let's not waste any more time and take a look at everything. Now, it's no surprise that TVs are again a major focus of the LG booth, and the main addition of the OLEDs this year are the ThinQ feature, which is an AI type feature where they add Google Assistant to their OLED TVs, and all the new ones have that. And so before, you could do basic voice commands with the remote and all that, but now with the Google Assistant you can integrate it a lot more into other devices. So basically it's a lot smarter than the previous smart TVs. And also another good thing is you're going to get the A9 or Alpha 9 processor into all these TVs, and that introduces some really cool features as well. So for example, one thing is 120 hertz. You don't usually see that in a TV. Sometimes you see it in a gaming monitor. I'm a personal fan of high refresh rates, so that's pretty exciting to me. I'm not sure how much content out there is at 120 hertz, so most of the time it's probably just going to be doing some interpolation or something like that, which isn't always that great, but it does have that 120 hertz, better than nothing. I'm really excited about that. Also, of course, with a more powerful processor, you're going to get clearer motion, smoother noise reduction, filters, all that sort of stuff. We saw a lot of that stuff over at the Sony booth as well, and also some improved LUTs, lookup tables, for the color gamut, and they say that that's going to be a 731% increase in the color volume of the color gamut. So if you don't know what that means, it basically can just do a lot better color representation. Now, HDR has been around in TVs. It's a big thing. It's a pretty big deal in my opinion, and the new Alpha 9 processor does support better HDR tone mapping. So if a piece of content doesn't necessarily have full capabilities like Dolby Vision or something, it can actually interpret that a little bit better and perhaps upscale it in a way. And they support what is known as HLG Pro, HDR10 Pro. So they're gonna take, I believe, that regular HLG or HDR10 type of HDR and do some dynamic tone mapping to improve it than what you would normally get in a regular TV, even if it is regular HDR. This would be better. So overall, all these OLEDs I think are pretty exciting, and I was kind of skeptical. I was like, what can they really add to the previous years? But I think with this new processor, the 120 hertz, the AI, it's really awesome. All right, next up, this one I thought was kind of dumb at first, but it's actually kind of cute, is Cloi, which is basically just a virtual assistant, and it connects to a bunch of different smart devices. LG is basically making pretty much all their devices smart and IoT so they can connect together. And I guess the idea is this thing, you can talk to it, you can interact with it, and it'll act kind of like a hub. And you can see here, they have like a little demo where they show examples of different devices that might use it. So we can go to the washing machine. So I'll hold up the microphone.
I see you had a workout today too. I've set the washing machine to sportswear course. Just press the start button.
So it set the type of wash to sportswear based on the person's schedule basically. So you just hit the thing and then it will go and automatically do the wash and interact with the washing machine. It's pretty cool that it can connect with different devices. They also talked about a new robot they have some air filters, and overall it's just a neat little thing. All right, now the other type of TV they have mainly on display are the so-called Super UHD, and these are going to be using the nanocell technology. So it's not OLED. The basics of it is a completely different technology from Quantum Dot. Where Quantum Dot, you have a totally separate sheet in between that kind of amplifies and corrects for any imperfections coming from the LCD cell. With nanocell, it's simply a film layer that absorbs any ambient light that would produce any incorrect lighting coming from the TV, and you're just left with the pure color that is intended to be from the whatever piece of content that you're showing on that TV. And the main improvement over last year's, they say, is the full array local dimming, so-called. And the main idea here is that unlike where you would normally have a LED light on the bottom or all around, where you can't really control the lighting, you'll get a lot of light bleed. Over here you can see that you might be able to light up just this part without anything below or above it. So that's a pretty big improvement. And then you also see the viewing angle is another main selling point, and they have an example over there we can insert footage of. So how it was described to me is that LG is not trying to replace OLED. They're not trying to beat it. They're basically offering another option. They're trying to get as close to OLED as possible, but not try to compete with it or replace it or anything like that. But it's definitely improved over last year, and it is a great option. All right, now we're into one of my favorite sections, the computer monitor area, and they have a ton of different ones we could talk about, so I won't spend too much time on each one. But you can see here, this is pretty exciting. They have the ultra-fine display. This is a UHD 4K Nano IPS, which, based on some of the information sheets and how they've been talking about it, it basically just means it's a technology that improves the color gamut by quite a bit over sRGB, about like 35% more, and just gives more accurate color. So it's basically just a better looking display. And you can see here that you can actually daisy chain these together. So they have a Thunderbolt cable here, so you can hook it up to your computer. They just have it running off a MacBook Pro here, and it connects in, and that connects to this. So both of those are running off of this one computer, so you can do that if you want. Now over here, this one is awesome, and this is an ultra-wide 5K. This is 5120 by 2160, and this one is also Nano IPS, and obviously there's not much more to say about it other than it's freaking huge, looks awesome. They did improve the stance here, they changed it, so it's that curve. I personally like the design. So this is another awesome one. All right, now this is right up my alley. You know I like high refresh rate, and kind of like the one I have now, this is a 1080p TN, so maybe not the best colors, although I can tell you that it does look great, especially for a TN. So obviously, even with TN panels, which are usually going to be the lowest in terms of color accuracy, they're improving always. And this is 240 hertz. Probably should have mentioned that first. It's the main point. If you have never used even 144 hertz, if you ever tried to go to 240, I don't think you could ever go back to something like 60. So this type of gaming monitor is really exciting to me. It's just nice to see it. Here's a couple cool ones. Both of these on either side of me are curved monitors. This one is 4K, so it's kind of similar to what we saw before, just with a curve. So that's always nice. If you prefer a curved monitor, they do have that option. On this side, we have a gaming specific monitor. This one's not 4K, but it is 1440p. So it's 3440 by 1440. So it's wide, 21 by 9, as opposed to a regular 1440p monitor. And this is interesting because not only is it wide, it also has a higher refresh rate than normal. It's 100 hertz native, but it can be overclocked to 120 hertz. And I'm guessing the reason it says 120 hertz for overclockable is you might not be guaranteed that refresh rate, but you'll at least get 100 hertz. Obviously going to be better than 60 hertz. So if what you have now is like a regular old 60 hertz monitor and you've been looking to upgrade to either curved or high refresh rate, this could be a great option. All right, next up we have the LG Gram. They have 3 different sizes here, about 13, 14, and 15 inch. And all of these are under a kilogram, except for the 15 inch. It's a little bit over, but you get the idea. They're very, very light. You can pick it up, and this is a lot different than the mobile workstation I edit on, which is like 10 pounds. This is a huge difference than probably what you're using as your laptop right now. It's pretty nice, especially since it has the 8th gen Intel. These are brand new. You don't see these in many different computers yet, so that's nice that they have that. It's IPS, which is also basically the best type of monitor you can get, and got dual channel memory, SSD, pretty much everything that you could expect. Another interesting thing is they said you can actually charge with the Thunderbolt, but not only that, you can connect 2 of the laptops together and charge one using the other through the Thunderbolt. So that's pretty neat, and overall it's just a really nice, really light laptop. Now, finally, we have a bunch of different projectors, but the one that excites me the most is this one. This is a 4K 2500 nit projector that can go up to 150 inches, so pretty darn bright. And what's interesting about this is the form factor. You can see here it has a handle on it, kind of unusual, and the idea is there's kind of a flip top up there, which is actually a mirror. So you can actually project it out the front, out the top, or you can stand it upright and have that mirror on there and it'll reflect and go straight forward. So you can kind of have it portable, carry it around, put it in a room. You don't have to have any type of special screen, just set it up like that. And seeing it as it's 4K, I mean, this is a pretty nice projector. I don't know if you'd call it portable, but at least portable within your own home. You can see here we have some examples. They have it mounted up. You can mount it if you want. They have it sitting down on the floor. And you can put it closer or further away if you want the difference in size, up to 150 inches, or you can do it smaller if you want. It's HDR as well, so that's pretty neat. It's a pretty cool projector, not really like anything we've seen before. All right, so that is the LG booth. We saw a bunch of cool stuff. Probably some of my favorite things were obviously that new OLED. Looks amazing, especially with that 120 FPS. You can see here, we can finish up in front of this pretty awesome display of a bunch of different lights and a giant cube array. And this is for the nano cell technology, just kind of supposed to represent that. Cool piece of work. And so hopefully you guys found this video pretty interesting. Let us know what you think down in the comments, what you thought was your favorite. I'll put some other videos of the other booths we did, maybe some other videos from CES, and you can let us know what you think again. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.